Hi everyone, welcome to today's information session about our online information and communications technology degrees. I'll just wait a few moments. I can see there are still some people joining the session. Okay, great. So thank you for attending today's session for the online grad cert and master of ICT. My name's Christina and I'm a student enrollment advisor with University of the Sunshine Coast, and I'll be co-hosting today with Rania, who will introduce shortly. But before we get started, I'll begin with an acknowledgement of country. So, the University of Sunshine Coast acknowledges that this webinar and many participants are located on the lands of many custodians of Australia. We recognise their ongoing connection to the land and value their unique contribution to the university and wider Australian society. We pay our respects to Indigenous elders past, present, and emerging, and extend this respect to any Indigenous participants viewing this webinar today. Okay, so firstly, I'll cover some housekeeping items. You'll notice this session's being recorded and we'll share the recording and a copy of the slides with you afterwards for your reference. So if there is anything you missed, not to worry. You'll also notice you're all on mute. So if you do have a question, pop it in the Q&A box at the bottom of your screen and we'll answer these at the end of the session. So for our agenda today, you'll meet Associate Professor Rania. We'll talk a little bit about the University of Sunshine Coast. We'll discuss the online ICT program, so the graduate certificate in information communications technology and the master. We'll go over career outcomes upon completion of both these courses, the entry requirements, what it's like to study online at University of Sunshine Coast. We'll go over some key dates and then any questions you've sent through in our Q&A session and how to apply for the course. Over to you, Rania.
Thanks, Christina, and thank you everyone for joining today. Yes, my name is Rania, and I have been at the University of the Sunshine Coast for a little while now, and I've got a number of years of experience teaching technology. I am also currently the Associate Dean for Learning and Teaching for the School of Science, Tech and Engineering. So I have kind of a wide range of knowledge in a number of areas and a number of disciplines. And yeah, my background area is databases and programming and coding using a number of different languages. So I am very passionate about teaching technology and creating an environment where we put your best foot forward for when you're looking for jobs and getting ready there to enter the career in IT. Thank you. I guess the question's always been where we're at with technology and where the workforce is at. And one of the things that we all are aware of is AI and the change of jobs and the potential fear of AI taking our role or taking over our roles. But in actual fact, the more AI is getting into the workplaces, the more we'll need people to be able to leverage and understand how to use it and how to navigate it. And so you'll see that there's a large shortage, and the shortage of IT professionals is only just getting bigger. Many, many years ago, it was, oh, we need 100,000, we're short by 100,000, whereas now we're short by, millions of people skilled in that area. So if anything, it's the time now to learn or to study within IT and to be able to have that opportunity to change careers if that's what you are intending to do. Okay, thanks. Next. So why the University of the Sunshine Coast? Look, it's I personally think that we provide some advantages over other universities. We are #1 in Queensland for overall educational experience of the latest Good Universities Guide for postgraduate programs in technology. So that's a huge achievement. And I think that's as a result of our staff, our academics that are teaching, but also the fact that we bring in industry into our courses and we get you industry ready into our courses. We have 5-star rating in terms of teaching quality. Our classes are small, so we don't just dump you into a class with hundreds of students. We know who you are, and we will bend over backwards to help you through your journey. And one of the biggest things is we have a number of embedded certifications. And what we mean by embedded certification is industry recognized certifications. So you walk away with more than just a degree, but you've got verified certifications of your skills. Obviously, you're studying online, so you are across Australia. If you do happen to come to Queensland, we have campuses in, a number of different areas, and they're state of the art. And our newest campus at Moreton Bay, but we've got campuses across Queensland. Okay, thanks. I mentioned embedded certifications. I've just become a Fortinet academic partner. And so we are looking at embedding cybersecurity skills in the program. As you'll see when I talk about the courses next, that we have cybersecurity courses within our ICT program, which is actually a strength of the ICT degree, because you don't just learn about one thing, you learn about multiple things, and gives you that overall perspective. We also have Microsoft embedded certs, and you've got, as one of them, as an example, you've got the Microsoft Security, Compliance, Identity Fundamentals. But as you'll see, there are other certifications as well that we embed. And so these are highly recognized and valued certifications that you get an opportunity to achieve through our program. So with the Masters of ICT, as I said, it's got a number of different courses. And so when I say courses, that's a unit or a subject or a module, depending on what term that you're used to. But that's the course within the whole overall program. The program is the degree, which is the Masters of ICT. So there's a number of areas. You'll learn machine learning, you've got databases, and then you've got cybersecurity as well. And it's important that you have, especially if you're coming in from a career change, to have a number of different courses that you learn, because when you go into the workplace, it's not going to be necessarily just one area that you focus on. You'll need that range, or that overall holistic view of technology, and you can't do one without the other. So you need to understand databases, you need to understand security. So it's that knowledge that you'll gain throughout. We constantly update our program. Our program is accredited by ACS, so it gets reaccredited. We're very industry connected and have actual academics who are also working in industry, and we bring in projects from industry as well. And as I said, globally recognized industry certs. Okay, thanks. Next. In terms of career outcomes, now this is always a hard one, because really it depends on where your background is from originally. So if you have, and we've had this experience where some of our students have come in, have had a psychology background, and so their path takes them on a different area, right? But the idea is that the knowledge that you've gained from your previous experience will impact the way you want to go. Okay, and it doesn't mean that just because you've done a master's now in ICT that you discount all of that wonderful experience that you've gained, no matter what it is. Okay, so that will always inform your career outcomes. Now, it might not, obviously, if you're changing careers that completely, but the skills that you've learned in your previous life's work is not gone to waste. There are transferable skills that you can apply. But in general, the idea behind doing a master's of ICT is that you're working as a number of different areas: a business analyst, an information security manager, your IT manager, or a consultant. So or along those lines are the potential career outcomes. And as I said, depending on what you've done in the past, will potentially guide you to where you are. And I think one of those things about IT is that no matter what space that you're in or what field that you've come in from, there will always be a need for IT. If you think about any area, you'll need a business analyst. You'll need a information security manager. You'll need an IT manager. There's always a need for that IT person within an organization or in a field. Thanks. Next. Okay, so in terms of the curriculum, you can see here, these are the courses. There are 14 courses, and it takes 2 years full time. And if you have come from if you've had other courses completed, you can get credit for those courses. So if you've done something in another university at the same level, then you can get that credited. You can see there that we have a range of courses. As you can see, the 601, 602, and 3 and 4 are all the cyber focused courses. Then you've got your ICT courses, managing data, data visualization, and databases. So you learn skills there in a very data focused space. And then you've got your programming and your machine learning. So you kind of got 3 themes here. You've got your programming and your AI and ML. You've got your data side of things, and then you've got your security side of things. And then obviously you've got project management and your evidence-based decision making. So that's more about that managing, that business management. Those 2 courses will lead into your research industry dissertation, 1 and 2. So the research industry dissertation are 24 credits each. So they're about a 6-month worth of study. And the reason for that is that those courses, you can either choose to go down the track of a research project or an industry project. And the two streams, are important because some people come in and want to go and do further academic study. So they want to do further PhD and go into the academic space. And therefore, if that's what you want to do, you can do the SCI 700 and SCI 701 as a research focused project. If, on the other hand, you want to get your hands into the industry, then you do an industry project 1 and 2. Okay. And you can see in blue the different certifications that are embedded. So you can see you've got your Fortinet certified fundamentals in cybersecurity in the first 601. Then you've got, as I mentioned, the Microsoft Security Compliance and Identity certification. We also have the Power Platform fundamentals. And we've got the Microsoft Azure AI fundamentals as well, and the machine learning. And then you've got ITS Python, which is the Information Technology Specialist Python certification. And what those mean by being embedded is they are part of your course. So you do them as one of the assessments. So you don't have to go and study externally to do this. You take it as either task 1 or task 3, depending on the course. And if you pass based on the certification's pass mark, which is 70%, you then earn that credential. And so you can still, some people often ask, can I still pass the course if I don't pass the certification? And yes, you can, because a pass mark is 50%. So if you still pass, if you still get the marks, you can still pass the course. But the idea is that you get 70% and you get the certification. Now we've had over the past 2 years, over 1,000 students sit certifications within our programs, and more than approximately 2/3 of the students actually achieved that certification in their in terms of that validation. So it's great that these students then will potentially walk away with 5 different certifications along with their master's degree. Okay, thank you. So the graduate certificate in ICT, so that is basically a subset of the master's. So if you have a look at the courses down on the lower right-hand corner there, the quadrant, you've got ICT 701, ICT 702, ICT 703, and INF 701. So those 4 courses, if you take those 4 courses, you can then graduate with a grad cert in ICT. So some often the requirements for that, entry requirements for that are less than the master's. To enter the master's, you must have a bachelor's degree from an accredited university. If you don't have a bachelor's degree and you want to enter the master's, you can do that via the grad cert. And so if you've got a number of years of experience, but you don't have any other undergraduate degree, you can come in through the grad cert. And so then you articulate straight away. And what's great about the grad cert is it also has those courses that have the embedded certifications as well. So you can walk away with those two certs as part of your grad cert if you choose not to continue on to the master's. Most of the time, the people who do the grad cert in ICT articulate into the master's. So they do those 4 courses, and then they just have to do the remaining 10 courses for their master's degree. So you can complete those in over 2 trimesters. So basically in 8 months' time. And before I hand over to Christine, I just wanted to say that a lot of people come in with a lot of experience. We've had so many students coming in to study who have had 20 years experience working in industry. And they often say, can I get credit for my or recognition of prior learning or from their professional work experience? And the answer is absolutely. So if you can prove that you have experience in a particular area, often it's project management, we can then give you credit for those courses within that program. So we're very much enabling students to apply for the tremendous work experience that they've already gained. So just keep that in mind, because it gives you often that head start into the program. Okay, so thank you. I'll answer questions as they come through, but I'll hand over to Christina.
Thank you, Rania. And yeah, that's a great point. We get a lot of questions about advanced standing. So yeah, good to know a little bit more about the professional side of that too. I'll speak a little bit more about studying online at Sunshine Coast. So, the courses are designed specifically for online learning. There are lots of online resources available to assist you with study, as well as access to teachers, mentors, and support services. There's asynchronous learning material available to make things more flexible for those of you who are working full time or balancing other commitments as well. Rani has touched on this as well, but the assessments are really practical and authentic. So the subjects are designed to give you the skills you need for your career in ICT. And there will be weekly live online sessions. So they're a great chance to consolidate your learning. You can get involved in discussion with your peers and your teachers and ask questions. And outside of these sessions, you can study when it's best for you. So the materials are all provided on Canvas, and you can log in and work through it at the time that's best for you throughout the week and that suits your schedule. There's also 24/7 tech support available. So for those of you who might be feeling some anxiety around navigating new systems or jumping back into study after some time, there's support available there as well. And then on that note, you'll have access to teachers, mentors, and support the same way our on-campus students would have. So peers and faculty members, you can access them by phone, live chat, email, and discussion posts. So you can still remain quite connected in the online environment as well. Some of your other support from enrollment to graduation. So I'm a student enrollment advisor. So some of you might have already been in touch with myself or one of my colleagues, and we're there to help you with your initial questions about programs or your application. We can also assist with questions about tuition, fee help, technology, and transfer processes. And then you'll have your student support coordinators throughout the duration of your studies. So they will help with mentoring you through the program and be your main point of contact. They're there to assist you with the learning management system and the program materials. They can guide you through time management strategies, program planning, and course schedules alongside the academics as well. I'll go through some key dates as well. So we're currently accepting applications for trimester 3, which will start on the 3rd of November. and applications will close on the 17th of October. It is good to apply early if you're hoping to receive a Commonwealth supported place, as these are distributed first come, first serve. But you have up until the 17th of October to finalise any applications. And then you'll also have your online learning orientation week before classes start. So that'll be on the 27th of October. You'll meet your student support team there and they'll cover how to use the system, access support. They'll go over important resources and address any last minute questions and concerns you have as well. You can access the course content 2 weeks before classes start. So you can jump in the system and familiarize yourself with it, go over the content so you can come into class feeling prepared. You can also see the census date here, which is the 28th of November, and then your mid-trimester break, which will be from the 25th of December until the 2nd of January. And then trimester 3 will end on 13th of February, and your exam period will run from the 9th to the 13th. And then if trimester 3 doesn't align with your timeline, applications are also open for trimester 1, and we've popped some key dates here for you to note down in your calendar as well. So all those dates I mentioned before. With that, we'll pop through to the Q&A portion of the session. So one we've gotten from a lot of students, Rania, is about coming into the field if you don't have IT experience. I know that's something you've touched on already, but can you speak a little bit more about how that might work and the support available?
Okay, thank you. That's a great question. And the program is designed for non-cognate entry. So that means you don't have to have knowledge or background in the area to come into it. As a postgraduate degree, though, there is expectation that you will, take responsibility to for your learning, and so there will be often things that you have to get up to speed with, but the support is always there to guide you through that. It is at the University of the Sunshine Coast, we have a number of academic skills workshops and support that can guide you through that upskilling should you need that. In terms of, again, like I said, entry, we are aware that students are coming from that non-cognate background. So materials are often written for that assumption that students will be coming in with a lack of that technical background. And so we often provide those extension tasks for people who do come from that background rather than the other way around. So yes, absolutely, we cater for students with that in mind so that we can make sure that we are inclusive in our design of the curriculum. But coming from a non-technical background, I think, like I said, I mentioned that it's great to get people from different backgrounds because you bring a wealth of experience and a different perspective compared to those that come in from the technical background, because it enables deeper discussion and enables that meaningful perspective.
Okay, awesome. Thank you. And then we've got another question. Are there exams for each subject as part of the assessment?
So we have a range. That's a very good question. Thank you. We do have a range of different assessments. There are some exams in some courses, and some courses may not have any. So it really does depend on the actual course itself. The certification itself is an exam. It's a proctored exam online. So that is an exam, and it needs to be for us to be able to issue those certifications. So again, it does really depend on the course and on the desired outcomes for that course.
Yeah. Okay. And then to follow up on that, how much is project work with others and how much is individual work?
Majority is individual work. There are built in, or there are group work courses, group work assessment embedded throughout the various courses. And the reason for that is that it's an expectation as professionals in the IT space that you'll be working with others in the team, and therefore it's a great skill to be able to learn that in a safe environment, and how to manage working with others. But majority is individual work with some group work spread throughout the courses.
Beautiful. Thanks, Rania. And then what is the process of earning the certifications? Is it built into the coursework slash how are we prepared for those exams?
Thank you. Yes, absolutely. It's embedded within the course. And so if you think about um, let's just take one of the courses, for example, the ICT 702 data visualization. It's the Power BI, Power Platform, Microsoft's Power Platform Fundamentals exam. We work through the material for the first 2-3 weeks, and the first task is the certification exam. So you get all the material, you work through the material with the course coordinator, and obviously your own time as well. And then you sit, we arrange for the exam for you to sit as task number 1, for example. And so you get, in terms of that, your question, we prepare that. You're given sample practice exams, you're given the material, and we go through all those questions to be able to sit that exam.
Okay, awesome. And then we have a question about whether there's support for diverse entry points. And this person said, I'm an experienced professional but new to ICT.
Okay, great question. Yeah, so in terms, if you have a look at the courses, the entry, just let me look at that question again. Entry points. Okay, so you can enter into the program, absolutely. If you want credit, so that means that you get credited for a course, so you don't have to do that course based on your experience. It does depend on your experience. So an example is that we've had someone who's worked in a business, who's had lots of project management experience, hasn't had it in ICT, but has applied for recognition of prior learning for their project management. And so they have applied for credit for that project management course. And so, yes, it just depends on what you mean by entry points. If you're looking for credit, as long as you can relay your experience with the learning outcomes of the course, then you can get credit for that course. In terms of entry, even if you've had 5 years experience in a different space other than ICT, absolutely, you'll be considered for entry.
Beautiful. And then what does practical experience in the course look like? Do we have access to industry?
Okay, so a great question. A lot of our assessments are aligned with industry. We often have case studies that are directly from industry. We have industry coming in and giving presentations to the course within the courses, and we often have staff that are working in industry. So for our forensics course, for example, but it's not in the ICT program, but in another program, we have IT actually working, sorry, the academic actually working within IT, delivering our courses. So we have very much aligned with industry in a number of different ways.
Yeah, awesome. And then I have a comment here. I have no idea about Python. How can I keep up?
So the Python course is from the beginning. So you learn as if you have never touched Python before. And so you don't have to worry about knowing how to code when you first go in. So it's a step-by-step learning Python. If you are, there's a lot of resources out there that you can start yourself if that's what you want to do before you enter, but there's no expectation that you should know it in advance.
Wonderful. And then what kind of academic and student support is available for online students?
Um, uh, we've got a number of support. I think Christina, maybe you can you can answer that question in terms of the online support, but there's in general that you've got your academic skills advisors that can support you through a range of different areas. We've also got support for student well-being. We've got the student guild as well in a number of different areas and support. So you've got both an academic from an academic skills perspective, but you've also got the support from a well-being perspective.
Yeah, Awesome. And then to touch on the student support side of that as well, obviously you've got my team, your enrollment advisors who are there to help you out with your application and navigating those systems to get started. So getting enrolled in your first subjects, getting ready for study, and then you'll have a touch point with the student support team and they'll help you through navigating Canvas and what sort of resources you can use if you don't know all the resources available. Um, IT support, they can either assist you or connect you with IT support as well. So you'll always have a touch point and you have the same sort of touch points as on campus students would have. So you're
That's
very well supported.
yeah, that's great, Christina. As a point there, you're considered another campus. So it's you're not left alone. And one of the points that Christine had made earlier is that there's live classes online. So um, often students choose to attend or not attend. I mean, ideally you attend so that you make it's an extra added bonus, extra benefit there when you attend the live workshops. Um, and so, as I said there, you're considered another campus, so you're not left up to your own devices. And so we have that communication, just like you would have that communication with on campus. So you've got the same academic and tutor support as you would any on-campus student as well.
Yeah, beautiful. Absolutely. And then we have a question about how many subjects each trimester would someone who's working full time be able to reasonably manage?
That's a very personal question. I think it depends on what your stress of your full-time load is. But um, i- in terms of being part-time, it's 2 courses or less. I think the opportunity for you to take on 2 courses and drop before census week, which is week 4, will enable you to see if you can manage it. And if you drop out before census, then you don't get charged for that course. So it's a good opportunity for you to say, all right, well, my good intention is I want to take 2 and then see how I can handle it.
That's a great point because you've sort of got the 4 weeks to see how that stacks up against your other commitments as well. So
Yeah,
you can, yeah, start off and see how you go. And then
absolutely.
in terms of hours per week, it's about 10 to 12 hours per week per subject. So just thinking about how that will slot into your life and your other commitments too.
Yeah, that's a good point. And also, I guess if you've taken on something and a life event happens in the middle or a stress happens in the middle, communication is important. You communicate with your coordinator, and we're here to guide you. It's not adding hurdles. We can support you along the way, and we know life throws things at us. So you just have to communicate with the coordinator, with student support, and we'll be able to hopefully guide you through.
Yeah. All right. Beautiful. And then I've enrolled previously but dropped from the program. Will it be difficult to reapply? I'll move through to this screen so you have all the contact details and the link to the application portal. But the short answer is no, you can pop in your preference. That won't be a problem at all. And if you need any assistance with the process, you can get in touch with myself or one of my colleagues. We can help you through it. And then, is it easy to get a Commonwealth supported place? So essentially, we have those spots currently available for trimester 3 and trimester 1. They're first come, first serve. So it is good to apply early, but they are currently there. So you could, if you're applying soon, you'll very likely get a spot. Do you have anything to add to that, Rania?
No, I don't think so. I don't, I think as you said that they're currently available. And as you said, they're haven't been filled. So yes, apply early and then you can choose to yeah, see how you
Yeah,
go.
beautiful. And something else I wanted to check in about, I've had a few students asking about what they can expect in those live sessions. Like, will it be lecture format? Will it be more interactive?
Yeah, great. Again, great question. It is very much a interactive session. UniSC has moved to asynchronous learning materials. So what that means is all your kind of lecture materials are all online, accessible at any time. And doing the live workshops, it's more of that interaction, working on a case study, working on your Python skills, etc. So it's that interactive workshop.
Yeah, awesome. So a bit of an opportunity to ask questions and get stuck into it. And then do I use the same student account details like login, or will I get a new one from a previous student? You will retain the same information. You'll keep your student number. Yes. And if you've misplaced that or you need any help, again, just reach out to us. So with that, I might go through the information on the screen at the moment for how to apply to these courses. So the link is here and there are some instructions too. This slide will be sent through to you as well. But if you have any questions at all, you can reach out to our team on 5345 6342, or you can email that email address there. Um, yeah, so that will conclude our session for today. I'd like to extend a big thank you to you, Rania. It's been such a pleasure to co-host alongside you. And thank you so much, everyone, for your attendance today. I hope you found the session informative and you have a great day.
Thank you, everyone. Thanks, Christina.